Kalyan Chakrabarti joining us on the broadcast. He is the Chief Executive Officer of EMAAR India. Mr. Chakrabarti, welcome to NewsX. Your first thoughts before I ask you some specifics, sir.
Brilliant budget, though it is for 4 months. So we will, of course, look forward to the July budget in its entirety. But the thing which kind of takes my respect for this budget is the comprehensiveness of the vision, whether it is defining the four fulcrums of the societal renaissance, if I may call, by uh, by emphasizing on women, farmers, youth, and elderly. I think the society grows the moment you start this kind of empowerment and start making changes at the basic level. That will have long-term positive advantages when women
Okay.
empowerment happens with
Okay.
policy decisions which are supporting it
Okay.
as a point.
For people, of course, who already know this, EMAAR is globally into real estate development. So not exactly what your forte is, Mr. Chakrabarti, but on a larger themology, that in a country where a percentage of the population simply did not have a house, we have built 3 crore houses and 2 crore more houses are being planned. Pakka ghars are being planned. What do you make of this, sir?
It's brilliant. I think it is the vision and more importantly the execution. It is one thing to talk about doing it. It is another thing to have delivered on it. So I'm very excited. It has got multiple layers of advantages in the economy in general. Obviously, any single spend that happens there is a multiplier effect which touches multiple MSMEs, SMEs, and all of that stuff. Of course, it creates a huge playing field for real estate developers like us, and it creates substantial jobs because this is a sector in infrastructure and real estate we produce maximum amount of jobs. So I think while it is housing for all is very uh, core to what we do as a developer, the fact remains the general focus or the general vision around improving the life and living standards, which is not only about housing but also healthcare, education, water, electricity, cooking gas, financial inclusion. These are like 6 or 7 almost like rainbow of
Okay.
with your kind of
Okay, so I have to
focus
ask you again.
areas.
Again, we don't know the details yet, so hopefully the budget documents will provide this detail. I'll put them on your screens as soon as I can. But a statement of intent that if you're in the middle class in India, government will come and help you either rebuild your house if it's not in the best of state, or if you have a plot of land similar to the Awas. I don't know the exact monies which will be provided, so that's why I said the devil is in the detail. But what do you make of this idea for the middle class, sir?
See, I'm also waiting for the details here, but middle class, rented, chawls, slums, and unauthorized colonies, revamping them, or essentially people who are living there to upgrade their life living standards by moving them into self-owned houses where hygiene and health and all of that get taken care of, and security, for example. Those are things which are crying needs in these kind of colonies, slums, chawls, and unauthorized colonies in particular. And in some of these things, these are people who own an asset which is not easily collateralizable, and hence the wealth is kind of hidden, uh, and the wealth cannot really be leveraged to improve you out of that. So there are multiple impacts of this. I'm waiting for the fine print as
Yeah.
it comes. I'm pretty sure it will be
Of
good.
course, and as people know, the biggest redevelopment plan in Dharavi now is getting started. Hopefully that goes well. It's complicated but needs to get done. Okay, let me get a broader picture from you, Mr. Chakrabarti. Uh, you tell us anecdotally for EMAAR India, what is your outlook on the country? Are you into looking and exploring and expanding on new projects? Are you looking at
100%.
opportunities?
We are very bullish on India as a story. We are committed to India as a canvas for us to play economically speaking, and we see positivity all around. The growth, the demand, the ease of doing business, all of have been positive, and I am personally excited.
Okay. Where is this positivity then coming from, sir? Is it simply that we got the basics right? Is there a sense of energy? Is just that the economy is doing well, that prices are stable? Where is the positivity coming from?
I'll have probably two answers for you. One is macro and one is micro. Macro side, I think India is the center of gravity of the world as far as multiple things are concerned. It's the economy, as a large economy which grows as well as it does, an economy which has managed to keep inflation away, unlike most who could not. We are leading the world on innovation on various fronts, including digital. We skipped that generation, which was most of the countries are yet to catch up with us with respect to digital, whether it is financial digital or various others. societal renaissance, like focusing on healthcare, education, water, electricity, cooking gas, financial inclusion. These are things which will unleash demand in a big way. It will unleash opportunities in a big way, and that is the macro which I am talking about. And the second one is effectively the economy side, whether the GDP growth rates or the inflation, which I have already talked about. These are all positive, and I see them staying positive in a similar manner for the foreseeable future, maybe probably the next decade. And that is the basic foundation from which we get our optimism from.
Okay, two or three quick
That's
questions
the
because
source of
I
optimism
know
for us.
time is short. Okay, now we've grown up, and I'm sure you've seen it happen in and around doing complicated projects. That wherever land gets involved, it's been a very, very contentious issue in this country for so long. Now we are seeing massive projects, airports, railway stations, huge highways, some of them greenfield highways that are being developed, and it's no longer become contentious, as either socially or politically contentious as we've seen in the past. What are we getting right? How have we sort of solved this problem, sir?
I think the intent is intent of the leadership. Mr. Modi and his team has been the biggest positive. Many a times, as we know, in corporate leadership, of course, we run much smaller enterprises in comparison to running the country that Mr. Modi does. And if the intent is right, then people normally line up. The second is, I think, buying into the vision. The vision is so grand and nice and right. I think it's easier to create that shared desire to get it right.
Okay.
And I think the capability building which has happened in the process over the last 10 years that I see, we have delivered on big things, and with that the confidence of the people and confidence of us as a nation or a group of citizens as a collective is sky high right now.
Okay. All right. Last
And
question.
that is going to be, that momentum is going to continue in my
Okay,
view.
last question, sir, and just an overview. How is the association now that we seem to have a very good association now with the Emirates in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, both in terms of the economic sphere, in terms of tourism sphere, in terms of people going. How has this boom happened? Are you seeing a healthy sign here that there is a lot of confluence of interest, which is rather obvious now?
I think so. I think with the GCC countries and UAE in particular, the degree of engagement G2G level has been probably the best that it has ever been since independence, in my view.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir, Mr. Chakrabarti, for joining us.